Welcome to another horrid, terrible episode of The Apocalypse. Congratulations for choosing The Apocalypse. I will be your guide. And since you have unwisely chosen The Apocalypse, that is why you are in need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you a bloody game. It appears Donnie's inner evil knows no bounds. For whilst his best friend's sex trafficking victims were testifying before the entire world, Donnie the Antichrist would attempt to drown them out using the latest military hardware: airplanes, jets, stealth bombers, etc. That is what death woke up to today. This may be the most abominable thing Donnie has ever done in his life, his bloody life, until this point. He will do worse. He will. I promise you. But for now, this may indeed be a new low for Donnie's shitbags. A low I did not think possible in the United States of America. If it were, let's say, North Korea or something, I would definitely expect this. Actually, in North Korea, the victims would have been executed long ago. But let's not pretend some of the victims have not been executed. Some have. The king himself of the operation may have been executed. May is doing a lot of work there. Yes, this is what I woke up to. The Epstein sex trafficking victims at a podium as Donnie sent jets to fly over. This was announced yesterday, I believe, that there would be a military flyover of DC. And people speculated, it would go on while this press conference. This press conference has been planned for a while. I don't know if you've heard. The Epstein victims, this is what it looked like when one of the victims was up at the podium. I'm not going to spend all night on this, as horrible as it is. But it's just one element of everything we discuss here. And it's a big deal. That's why I'm even talking about it at all. So for a while, this has been planned. The Epstein victims come to D.C. There's a big press conference. Some politicians are there. One of them a Republican called Massey. Of course, he isn't running again. But he was there, and he was talking big shit. And Donnie was obviously shaken today by this. How do we know Donnie was shaken? Well, he sent, a few trillion worth of military hardware to fly over and make a lot of noise. That's how we know Donnie been thinking about this since it was announced. I remember when it was announced, I was like, oh shit. I believe I presented it to you. I believe Massey was involved in orchestrating this. This is cardinal sin in the Reich, baby. Even insinuating Donnie had something to do with Epstein and all this is cardinal sin. Look what happened to Leon. He got excommunicated for a while, but his money going to get him back in. Don't worry. It always does. Leon helped build this thing. Don't ever count him out. So again, people, I want to stress this because even I was impressed at the just abject evil this orange thing is and is capable of. And in my opinion, you know, people have lost their lives because of this man. Like, I even know that. Things I don't tell you. But this, as these women have gone through hell for most of their life, been silenced, pushed to the side because very wealthy men were involved, Donnie being one, who just happens to be president, which is what I forgot to mention when I took this in. This just abject fucking evil. There is no other way to frame it, son. Just don't even try. I thought about all the people, as I usually do, that have their name on this shit. And have made it a reality. And still do have their name on it. Let me explain what you have your name on, even though none of you will ever see it because the adjudicated criminal Google doesn't allow me to broadcast. Let me explain what you have your name on. Again, these people have been silenced their whole life. Some of them have been disappeared. They finally get a chance to talk in front of the public. And the guy who was Jeff Epstein's best friend, who you people voted for, have your name on, and gave him the keys to everything, who's now president again, intentionally flew over military jets while these people spoke in an attempt to intimidate them, drown them out, 100 different things. And we all know, down to the smallest child, that Donnie was neck deep in all this shit. So he was in the room when all this shit was going on. We know that. 14 different contact numbers in the contact book that's been verified. Flight logs. Special birthday messages. 50 different pictures of them together. Footage of them partying at Mar-a-Lago. They say they're going to release the files to you people. They campaign on it because you're the Pizzagate crowd. You're the Jesus crowd who cares about the little children's. And again, as these people are speaking, Donnie doesn't want to help. He withholds the files from you, and we all know that's going on. Because they went from on Miss Bondi's desk and 1,000 agents preparing them for us to 1,000 agents redacting Donnie's name. Then they said the files don't exist, there's nothing to see, move on. Today, I believe they released some already prior release stuff that everyone's already seen, some of that even redacted in some feeble attempt to negate all this. So he's withholding the files from you. That's not good enough. They have a press conference with the actual victims. And Donnie's response, the Antichrist's response, is to fly jets over to try and intimidate people and make noise. One, as a human, do you realize what level of maturity we're dealing with? One, what level of criminality we're dealing with? Two, three, on a spiritual level, on a moral level, the level of fucking evil we're talking about here. Again, I was even impressed, and I know how evil that motherfucker is. I know what he's gonna do. He keeps telling us, I keep telling you, and he keeps doing it. And it's going to go to all those places that their idols took it. Their idols from the Third Reich is what I'm talking about. Plain as day, that is where they want to take you. And again, son, don't mistake me. I'm not Alex Jones. I ain't selling snake oil, son. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't that serious, if it wasn't imminent, if it wasn't already happening. Yeah, it's going to all those places if it gets a chance to. If we have that long, is what I mean. But it's going to go to some very dark, just based on the story, what that says. I'd rather not go into the details right now. So it's guaranteed. There's some wrath coming from both sides, and I don't mean Republican and Democrat, son. This is a level of evil I can't even comprehend. As a human in the office of the presidency, you hear a bunch of sex trafficking victims are going to have a press conference. But since you're neck deep involved in it and it was your best friend who they're complaining about, you send jets to fly it over and try and scare the people. Equipment, again, meant for our enemies, turned on us once again. I'm going to move on now, but I have to say before I do, I know none of you are going to see it because I can't go live anymore. And that's intentional. But it must be said whether it's said into the ether or not. I don't have control of how many people I'm allowed to talk to. If you have your name on this, you need to get it the fuck off. Again, when they were taking children from their parents and putting them in God knows where, probably sex trafficking, who fucking knows, with these fucking demons. Even that didn't sway you. Overthrowing the government, that attempt, that didn't sway you. The document thievery, that didn't sway you. If this don't sway you right here, you're just lost, man. You're just fucking lost. And you ain't ever coming back. Holy fuck. Again, sex trafficking victims trying to finally get their say somewhere. You know, the ones that are still alive. And he sends planes to fly over. Because he's a little child who's mad that his victims are getting a chance to speak at a podium. And one of the saddest things of all, I guess, is he has the power of the presidency. Sorry, my eye's itching. He could use that power to help these people. No, he uses it to intimidate them and trying to silence them. And you people put your name on that. What the hell just happened to my iPad? Again, you people have your name on that, and you know who you are. The ones that'll never see this. You need to get your name off. Again, even I'm stunned, and I've been, following this and commenting on it for 10 years. The level of evil I am describing here. I don't think Donnie's place in heaven is very secure, even though he wants to go. Just my opinion. I'm not God, though. Maybe he'll get in. This is Jessica Tarloff, the lovely, elegant Jessica Tarloff, commenting on a video clip of Donnie. And the reporter asked Donnie, on Epstein, is the DOJ protecting any friends or donors, sir? That's a ballsy question. So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation, and I'm going to have more of that comment as we go. It's better to do it in pieces. Take the evil in slowly. Witness the abomination slowly. Don't want to hit you with too much at once, So Jessica Tarloff says more than 10 survivors today. Some Republicans spoke out today. Minutes later, Trump repeats this horrible lie that even some of his supporters don't believe. Indeed, he's calling the whole thing a hoax. And again, I have to ask, you people were the Pedogate, Pizzagate. A lot of you made money off it. Every day about protecting the little children's. I know it was all the evil liberals doing all the things these GOP guys are doing. Literally. Now that it's pretty much known that Donnie is, all up in that Epstein stuff, no one can really say, no, he isn't. Can't say that at this point. Some of you, again, you still keep your name on it. So all I can surmise from that, why I keep saying it for months and months, is that you're okay with it. All I can surmise from that is that no, you never really cared about the little children's. You cared about talking points you could use for the Buffalo Bills to win your political team. That's fucking pathetic. And that's why your country is over, son. And much, much, much more is over. I know Jessica doesn't know. I know Aaron Rupar doesn't know. I know you don't know. But I do. That's why I'm telling you. Yes, so again, that Jessica makes a good point. Fucking 10 minutes or a few minutes after these people give testimony, President of the United States is in the White House calling it all a hoax because he's all up in it. Astoundingly evil. And again, I thought you people were the Jesus people. You care about the little children's, Pizzagate, Pedogate. Oh, that's right. The Russians just fed you that bullshit. And you just repeated it. When it comes down to the reality, do you gives a fuck? No, you don't. And that's obvious. Otherwise, your name wouldn't be on it. I'd get your name the fuck off it if I were you. Just a suggestion. Fox refuses to cover what the Epstein victims are saying publicly for the first time, but they are covering military jets flying over them during the press conference. And yes, they covered the jets, and that's what it looks like. Not the words, not the women giving their testimony. No. And I saw a bunch of comparisons all over the internet. All the other news channels are showing this big Epstein. Everyone cares about Epstein, right? Not Fox News. Not you people that have your name on this thing. You obviously don't care. Because the jets used to intimidate the victims are the story for you. Are the story for Fox. What occurred to me, well, not occurred to me, but what I thought of again when I saw this today was, look, again, I'm going to be real blunt with you. Your movement is evil and it's of Satan. I don't care how many times the people you vote for say the word Jesus. Fucking meaningless. I don't care how many times you say the word Jesus. Your name's on the Antichrist. You need to get it the fuck off. Again, and your news channel that you love so much. Not covering the victims. You say you care about this stuff. The little children's, all that. Here it is right in your face. What does Fox show you? What do you walk away with? Oh, look at those jets flying over. Never mind, your name's on the thing that sent those planes to intimidate those people at that press conference. The one about, the little children's, because, these women were very young at the time when it happened. Whew, I'm just glad my name's never been on this and never will be on this. Holy fuck, this is astoundingly evil. And again, I'm sorry to be so blunt. Your movement is of Satan. You need to get the fucks out. Not for me or anybody else. Just for you, son. It's all for you. This is Donnie sitting in the White House today, and he's getting asked about Epstein, and he's really not happy about it. Trump on Epstein. It's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. We haven't been successful at anything except Donnie's grift. He's making millions, billions even. He's doing great. Everybody else is fucked. So that part's not even true. And as far as the subject of Epstein, it was your MAGA people, your MAGA movement, your cult of the Antichrist that campaigned on releasing the Epstein stuff. Miss Bondi, one of the Antichrist's right hands, says the shit's on her desk. 1,000 agents are getting it ready for you because it has, child porn in it. She said it at a restaurant table. There's a recording. Weeks later, an announcement by the FBI and the DOJ. Oh, there's nothing to see. What the fuck are you talking about? What? Wait a minute. You said the files were on your desk like 3 weeks ago. What the fuck happened? Oh, yeah. They're nothing. No. What about the 1,000 FBI agents? What were they for? Oh, well, it just doesn't exist. Now it's back to existing again. To the point we even have the victims doing a press conference. Donnie's in the White House calling it a hoax in front of all the reporters. While the fucking press conference is going on. While being neck deep in it. While being Jeffy's best friend. Again, we're on levels of evil and scumbaggery that most people aren't even capable of, son. We had a whole new dimension of evil and disgustingness here. You really need to get your name off it. Yeah, let's focus on the success. I'm not seeing it. I don't know about you. And again, the Reich brought it up. They said they were going to release it. It wasn't the Democrats that brought it up. They didn't promise it. The Reich did. They promised it to you, gave you nothing, said it was on their desk, and then they said it doesn't exist. And now the story has changed, I don't know, 30, 40 times. All I know is the guy with the allegations against him. When the victims come to D.C., and he can take the opportunity as being seen as noble and help them in some way, give them a platform, anything. Nope. Military flyover to try and intimidate them. That's what you got. That's the level of evil we're talking about. Then what went on in the White House? Again, just levels of evil I can't fully describe. I'd get your name off it if I were you. So this is Massie, the guy that Donnie targeted because he didn't want to vote for one of his bills or something. Then Massie said he's not running again, so he's just finishing the term strong and going for Donnie's jugular with this Epstein stuff. And it's interesting to watch. And here's what he looks like. He was at the press conference today. I believe he helped make it happen. So I guess Donnie should have fucked with him, huh? The Speaker of the House just offered a fig leaf to my colleagues. They're going to vote on a non-binding resolution today that does absolutely nothing. They're allowing the DOJ to curate all of the info that the DOJ is giving them. The perpetrators are being protected, so he's outing the whole thing. Donnie does not like this guy right now. Holy shit. Again, that's a Republican congressman, by the way. One of the few that has decided to step out and be on the right side of things sometimes. Good for him. Okay, those people that Donnie bombed the other day. I saw the boat. It had a quad group of engines on the back for speed, obviously. So I don't know about it being a fishing boat. When you've got four outboard engines on a boat, that's for straight up speed. I don't know if you need that kind of speed for being a fishing boat. But it was an open kind of boat, long, big, with the quad outboard engines. So, again, I don't know if they were doing something nefarious, drugs, whatever, but the engines makes it kind of suspicious. Does that mean the United States has the right to blow it the fuck out the water with a missile or whatever? No, it really doesn't. I shouldn't have to say that, by the way. We're not at war with Venezuela or whatever. All we can do is go by the Reich's word, and they're so credible they tell the truth about everything, right, son? No, they never tell the truth, ever. Fucking ever. But I saw the footage of the boat. It's an open kind of boat with the 4 engines on the back. And you watch the ordnance hit it and it explode. Now that's 11 people dead. And we've got a story from the Reich that they were part of Tren de Aragua or something. I don't know how they figured that the fuck out. And it kind of reminds me of just sending the worst of the worst to the camps. The concentration camps I'm talking about. Yeah, that turned out not to be true. And we kind of know it's not true as they raid Home Depots. As, you know, Mexicans wait for contract work. Or immigration hearings. Where people are trying to do it the right way and go to their hearings and do what they're supposed to do. They get grabbed and kidnapped for it, for money. So, we know it's not the worst of the worst getting grabbed, getting sent to camps. That's not even remotely true. So when we just send an armada towards Venezuela, with the pretty much indicating that, we're going to do something to Venezuela, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they decide to blow up a boat with 11 people in it. We just have to take their word that that's legit, and it's not just them trying to find a doorway into literal warfare in Venezuela to steal their resources, of course, oil. Why do you think they're going to Venezuela first? So I don't know if I'm buying the Reich's explanation. I don't know if I'm buying that it was a fishing boat because of the engine setup. And in my personal opinion, it's just the opening ante to actual warfare in Venezuela. They needed to, get it rolling. Oh, look, we found this boat. Tren de Aragua. We blew it up. 11 people dead. You believe us, right? How can I? Nothing but lies every 3 seconds that they keep getting caught in. Everyone says Donnie's involved in the Epstein shit. The Epstein victims have a press conference in D.C. What does Donnie do? He tries to intimidate him with a jet flyover and drown him out and make a bunch of noise. So what does that lead one to believe? Well, Donnie's guilty. And he's mad these people are speaking. That's what it leads one to believe. He's his worst enemy. And, we've seen these kind of things with war after war, incursion after incursion, especially with our country. There's always some little event like this that gets it started off. You know what I mean? So they're just going with that same philosophy. And, Donnie said years ago on camera that he would go to Venezuela and take their oil if he had the chance. Now he's got the chance. Just blew up a boat with 11 people. We got to take the word of the Reich that lies every 3.2 seconds that this is legitimate. I can't take their word. I can't accept it because I've caught them in so many lies. So I'm just going to run with my opinion that this could have been some unfortunate fisherman. It could have not. It could have been anybody. Someone was going to die to get America's foot in the door. Excuse me, not America. The Reich's foot in the door in Venezuela with the warfare. These are the people that had to die. Are people that patrol the waterways, when they go after drug dealers, they don't shoot them with a missile. They usually try and arrest them and seize the product and all that. Maybe you get some information on some bigger people. Who knows? Not here. Just blow them up. Tren de Aragua. Worst of the worst. I don't think I'm buying it. Expect more warfare type action with the Venezuela thing until Donnie seizes their oil. End goal. My apologies to the people of Venezuela and what's about to happen to you. It wasn't, the majority of us didn't want this to happen. Okay, again, back to the press conference with the survivors or victims of the Epstein thing. What is your message to President Trump? One of the survivors is at the podium. I don't want to send a direct message to him. I'm already scared enough. And that there's more to this comment. I have it later. You have one of the Epstein victims saying they're scared of who in front of the whole world? The whole world, son. Except for Fox News. The president, that's who. That's what this woman is saying. What message would you like to give to the president? Well, I don't want to say anything directly to the president because I'm scared enough. Wow. On top of everything I just told you, what Donnie did, his response, the flyovers, all that, calling it a hoax, while these women are literally at the fucking podium. Now you get one of them straight up saying in front of the entire world, I'm too scared to say anything directly to the president. Again, the level of evil we are talking about here cannot be emphasized enough. And he will go lower still, if that's even possible. That's the horrifying part. Again, that's why I'm here every night almost. Not for fun or money or anything, because there's none of that. Because it's that serious. Again, I'm already scared enough of the president. She didn't say that part, but we all know what it means. Holy fuck, man. This statistic came out and it was all over the internet. The U.S. now has more unemployed people than jobs. This is the first time since April 2021. That's right at the end of the pandemic, I believe. I always hear people say, I've been hearing it my whole life, especially once the computer age started, there's plenty of jobs for everyone. You know why they say that? Do you know what usually the next thing they say is? Or maybe it's the first thing. I go online, I see 1 million jobs online. What are you talking about? That you can't find a job. Here's the thing about jobs online. First of all, a good percentage are just a scam to get you to sign up for schooling. They've even turned looking for a job into a scam, son. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of job postings are advertisements. Like the one we've been seeing for 40 years. The post office is hiring. $22 an hour. I've been seeing that one since the 90s. Then you click on that. And it doesn't go to a job offer. We all know where it goes. My point is, son, then there's all the statistical things like just because a company has a position posted doesn't mean a cousin, friend, nephew, uncle doesn't already have that position, or that it's been filled 4 weeks ago, or that it ever existed in the first place. That's the fun part of going online for a job. You don't even know if it exists. Isn't that great? And through my experience of going through that process throughout my life, I would say 70% of the jobs posted online, maybe 75, don't even fucking exist, son. Now we're at the point where the statistics they give us, not even the real ones, are saying there's not even enough jobs for everybody looking. Damn, there goes that philosophy, huh? That everyone spouted for so many decades. No, there was never enough jobs for everybody, unfortunately. And again, like I've said many times before, if everyone tomorrow woke up with a master's degree, there isn't even close to enough actual good-paying, master's degree-worthy jobs that you can actually live on out there. They don't exist. Plenty of jobs at McDonald's, though. Unfortunately, you can't live on that. Not even close. So, Donnie's doing so well. We are just at the end of pandemic level job openings. And there's more people looking than there are jobs. We are in a fucking hole. This is America. We shouldn't even be close to that. We are in a fucking hole. Because one man grifted. And one man wants to build a Reich. Well, not one man, a whole bunch of people. Not good. This is about RFK Jr. Don't trust this nut to make your medical decisions. Us neither. And this is the nut Gavin Newsom is talking about here. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, talking about RFK Jr., the brainworm guy. The smackhead. Oh, and by smack, I mean heroin. Brown. Don't trust this nut to make your medical decisions. Us neither. That's why California, Oregon, and Washington are teaming up to launch a new West Coast Health Alliance to provide evidence-based unified recommendations to our residents. You know why? Because Florida, I believe, is the first state to take away vaccine mandates. And again, I'm not even a lover of vaccines, but I have to admit the progress made by vaccines. I cannot deny it. Otherwise, I'd be a liar. And vaccine mandates for schooling may be a good idea. Because a lot of major diseases, illnesses, whatever you want to call them, have been nearly eradicated. And for a while, some have been eradicated. Now they're all making a comeback, of course. And the funniest thing about taking vaccines away, the way Oz, they got even Oz to admit that today. The eugenicist Dr. Oz. I couldn't believe it. He down with the Reich. Or at least he willing to say he's down. And he said, yeah, I'm fine with, I don't believe in mandating vaccination. Okay. Again, that's a doctor saying that. And even though I don't love vaccines, I still ain't down with RFK and Dr. Oz because their plan isn't to make anyone healthier or to give anyone freedom. They are eugenicists. They are part of this Reich, a real Reich based on the first one or the third one. I'm not kidding. And it's obvious by their rhetoric and policy and what they're doing. They believe it. One of the aspects of a Reich class is eugenics. And it just so happens that the brainworm guy, he wanted to make a list of autistic people months and months ago. Remember that? Just for, no reason. And he spouted his philosophy about how autistic people cannot contribute to society in any way, cannot hold a job, etc. That's a pretty broad stroke opinion, wouldn't you say? You know what it sounds like to me? Someone that knows what to listen for? Eugenicist talk. That's what it sounds like to me. And RFK, again, he believed in the send drug addicts to camps. He said all this on camera. That's called modernizing the eugenics and Reich-style movement. That's all this guy does when he talks. Here's the thing. Oz and the rest of them, RFK, they're all vaccinated. They're the first ones in line. You're a fucking mark. That still doesn't make me love vaccines. What it does tell us is though the rhetoric for you is you're not healthy enough. You're on drugs, let's put you in a camp. He said it out loud, RFK. We're the first in the doctor's office for the vaccine, but for you, you don't need it. Do you know what that's called, son? That's called eugenics. That's called an actual desire for a percentage of the population to be dead. That's what these people believe. That's why little children, they're the first ones in line when the doctor has the needle out. But for you, when they're advising you on your health, well, we want to give you the freedom not to take the vaccination. And you know what? We're going to take vaccines away except if you're old or have, some serious condition. They've already done it with the COVID vax. I want you, Rubes, even though you're never going to see this, I still have to talk this way. I want you to ask yourself the question, why every single politician that alleges to be down with your movement are the first ones in line at the doctor's office to get the shot, and then they tell you you don't need it, and they fight for you not to get it. That should bother you. There's a contradiction there. First, look up the word contradiction, and then realize you are the mark, and they want you to die. These specific ones, anyway, Oz, RFK. Otherwise, son, they wouldn't be first in line, despite what they say to you on camera. That's why California, Oregon, and Washington are going to have their new West Coast Health Alliance. I think that's a good idea because that alliance, they won't be eugenicists, although you will call them that, and vote for the real eugenicists, RFK, Oz, etc. You gonna see, son. They build in a very obvious Reich right in front of you. All the pieces are there, all the elements are there, all the rhetoric is there, all the activity is there. And remember, the brainworm guy wants you to have a wearable on within 4 years. Did you hear that, son? Something on your body. I'm sure the government and the 18 companies that'll be involved with that, I'm sure they'll only use that information for the most noble of purposes. And it doesn't sound like a mark at all, does it? Nah. If it ain't a liberal giving it to you, it can't be the mark, right? That's why your country's over. Right there. That thinking. So sad. Okay, this is Donnie on a recorded interview, a radio type audio interview today as well. They were all over the place today. They had Oz out there. They had all kinds of people out there doing interviews. Oz once again gave his speech about how he's mad at people that aren't healthy and it's costing him money as if it's his money. So Rep Massey stands up for Epstein victims, and Trump immediately goes live on the air to say he's an insurgent who should be taken out. We all know what the word insurgent means. Terrorist. And there's Donnie with that phrase again that he used for other people. I believe Comey or someone was one of them that he used this phrase for. Taken out. And we know what a mob boss means when he says taken out, right? We sure do. If someone said that about Donnie, I bet the Secret Service be paying them a visit, huh? I bet you they would. But Donnie can say that about a representative in our government. On his own team. A Republican. An insurgent who should be taken out. Interesting. There was also this discharge petition that everyone, they wanted everyone's signature for, all the congressmen As of 3 p.m., the Masih Kana discharge petition on the Epstein files is now at 205 signatures. 218 are needed. Only 4 Republicans signed it. Massie Green, Boebert, Mace. You got Bobo, you got Marge Green, and Mace to sign this thing. Massie was a given. I'm stunned they even signed it. But they did. Because they obviously care about their base more than the MAGA base. Their personal base. So they voted this way. I'm sure they let Donnie know in advance. Or the leadership know in advance, but still. What is that saying? That's saying that we believe Donnie's going to go down at some point. And we want our political careers to survive, so... And we know our base, we got the straight up conspiracy theorist people. Bobo and Sporkfoot, oh my God. So they can't not vote to release the Epstein files. Their base will go away. It's a big deal. I don't know if the discharge petition ever got enough signatures. You know why? Because only those 4 Republicans were the only ones to sign on to release the Epstein files. 4. Again, the Jesus Party, the party of family values, the Pizzagate, liberals are evil, all that shit. Marxists, socialists, communists. When it comes time to protect the little children and release the info about the little children, only 4 out of a few hundred put their name on it. Again, that's the Jesus Party, the party of we care about the little children. The Family Values Party. It's all just such a facade. That was never real. That's right-wing politics. Oh my God, it's such a mess. So that discharge petition probably never went through because it probably didn't get enough signatures because only 4 Republicans joined in. Here's Donnie on the radio interview again. We're not allowing windmills in this country. They destroy the views, the vistas, the planes, the beautiful planes. I'm not talking about airplanes. They destroy them too, I guess. I'm talking about the kind of planes that you ride a horse on. You know we're fucking doomed, right? They destroyed the airplanes too, probably, according to Donnie. That's what the windmills have done. Just because a few of his golf courses he can see windmills from. And he only takes money from gas and coal. Wind and solar don't give him any, I assume. Oh my God, we're fucking doomed. Donnie has a lifelong vendetta against windmills for no reason, just because they were in his sight line once. Says they kill whales, ruin planes, whatever he got to say. This is Donnie commenting on that meeting that Russia and China had with North Korea and India. Donnie was jealous that he didn't get to be there with all the dictators. I'm serious, I'm not joking. Trump on Russia, North Korea, and China, and that's what this looked like. I don't even know who that is sitting next to him today. It doesn't matter. Another world leader with a stunned look on his face. I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive, but I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. I watched the speech last night. Hold on. This is like a group of girls that are all friends, right? And they have a falling out with one of them. And the one gets ostracized from the group, so all three of the other girls, they have to hate that one. So what happens is they have a sleepover, and they don't invite the one. But they post this, the sleepover on social media. Maybe they video a little bit of laughing, games, whatever, talking, whatever, do a little broadcast, whatever. Just so the girl that's not invited can see it and get jealous. That's Donnie. They had that meeting so Donnie would see it and get jealous, and Donnie took the bait. Donnie's Katie, the ostracized fourth friend that Brittany and Lizzie and Raylene don't like anymore. And you know what's sad? These world leaders know that works on Donnie, that he's a fucking 3-year-old. And that works on him. And here's the evidence. We're fucking doomed. Do you hear me? I watched the speech last night. President Xi is a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China, by imposing 9,000% tariffs, right? This fucker don't know if he's coming or going. He's lied so many times and grifted so many times and done so many horrible things. To the point the dictators don't even invite the one who envies them all to the sleepover. And Donnie takes the bait and he watches it on TV and he gets all jealous and he wishes he was there. Rome is burning, son, and he just fiddling. Oh my God, we're fucking doomed. Here's Oz on Fox News again, complaining about Americans who aren't healthy. Who the fuck is this guy, one? He's nothing to me. But he is a eugenicist. And every time I see him commenting interviews at the White House, it's some expression of anger against the general population of the United States because they dare to take Medicaid money. There is so much pollution in our food, air, and water. We're part plastic now, son. Of course everyone's fucking ill. Not to mention they work us to the fucking bone. You gotta have 3 jobs to survive. And we get Mehmet the cunt Oz that gets on TV every 3-4 days and chastises the American public because they ain't a healthy slave workforce enough for him. And they're costing the Medicaid system and Medicare system money. My God, the nerve, the audacity of this cunt. Here we go. You ready? In my agency, we spend about 1.7 trillion. So, fuck you. The major driver of that expense is the health of the American people not being good. Here he is again, blaming the American people because they're not healthy. Not the corporations that are dumping radioactive waste all over the fucking place. Nah, that's not the problem. Not the fact that an apartment costs $2,500 now. And you got to work 8 jobs to have it. The major driver of that expense is the health of the American people if you have a chronic illness, you end up causing massive problems. Says the cunt that been in government for 3 seconds. Acting like it's his damn money, son, that's being allocated when it ain't. Again, someone who's studied history, who understands what a eugenicist really is, not the Alex Jones people. That's all I hear right here. Why? Because that's what it is, son. They cutting you people off of Medicaid, some off of Medicare. It's coming real soon, right after the midterms. And they're going to go further than that. And they're actually, at least Oz is, actually upset that any citizen costs the government money as if it's his money. As if he's a real doctor. He's a TV personality. Just like Donnie. Just like half the cabinet. Just like many of the attorneys. We are fucking doomed. This guy, every single time I've seen him 4th or 5th time now, it's always an expression of anger against the American population because they dare accept Medicaid and Medicare. And he calls us unhealthy every 3 seconds. If you have a chronic illness, you end up causing massive problems. Problems, you say? Yeah, that's a eugenicist if I ever heard one, son. Oh my God. Hillary wanted to give you free health care. Mehmet Oz wants you to have no health care. And is actually angry at you for accepting what you have accepted. You know why? Because he's a eugenicist. That's why. And this is a Reich. And it's even much more than that, but I won't go into that. I've already on here for an hour. I probably got 100 more pictures, right? Oh my God. Yeah, there's a bunch. Oh my God. Yep, it's really a Reich. They're really eugenicists. I'm not Alex Jones, and you're really living in it. I'm sorry. This isn't fun for me. I just have to give you the reality of it. I have to guide you through it, son. I'm sorry. I'm here to hold your hand, though. Meta is building a data center in Cheyenne, Wyoming that would use more electricity than every home in the state. If that's even close to true, oh my God. Again, dystopian nightmares where it's all these just mega buildings, mega corporations, all monopolies, all mob. Mega data centers that use more electricity than all the homes in the state. And millions of gallons of water. Do you think that might jack up the prices a bit, son? In your neighborhood? I do. Holy fuck. Amazon is building one in Indiana that would use as much electricity as half the homes in the state. Holy fuck. There's probably more people in Indiana than Wyoming, but still, damn. That makes it worse. One structure using as much power as half of the homes in a populated state like Indiana. The other one using as much as the whole state of Wyoming. That is astronomical. Welcome to the dystopia, son. Holy shit. This is Massey again. Yeah, he's a Republican from Kentucky, actually. That's hardcore Republican country. I'm surprised he's doing what he's doing right now. I don't know if that's precedent in this country to have a president call legislators to say that they're engaged in a hostile act. Particularly when the so-called hostile act is trying to get justice for people who've been victims of sex crimes. Before this press conference, a message was put out from the top, from Donnie, of course, to his caucus, the Republicans. Anyone joining with this Massey shit, it will be seen as a hostile act. We all know what that means. We're going to try and ruin you if you join it. Typical threats. That's all MAGA is. Threats, violence, evil, Satan. Massey wasn't swayed. And he's got a damn good point. What, who is Donnie to say hostile act and make threats and all this shit? And again, I thought you guys were the party of Jesus and I love the little children's. What happened? Oh, when it's on your team, it's okay. Just like it's okay when the Antichrist is on your team. Got to stay on the team, right? That's your loss. And you know where you're going to lose? You. That's a shame. And you might hear this message if the adjudicated criminal would let me broadcast, but they won't, so you won't hear it. Oh well. I don't want to send a direct message to Trump. I'm already scared enough. Just pass the vote. Listen to us. This is not a hoax. That's one of the victims again. Here's what it looks like at the press conference. You heard some of that comment earlier. Let's hear that one more time. She's talking about your Messiah, the President of the United States. That's who she's scared of. And her name is Mariana Lacerda. I don't want to send a direct message to Trump. I'm already scared enough. Just pass the vote. Listen to us. This is not a hoax. Well, how'd the Republican Party vote on that discharge petition? Oh, well, only 4 put their name on it. Trump had 8 fighter jets fly over the Epstein Survivor Conference, interrupting them mid-speech. That's what this looks like while the jets were flying over. I remember when it was happening. Oh my God. Again, the level of evil, son. I can't fully express to you. One more time, I want to remind you. Over this 10 years, there's a reason I've been calling him the Antichrist. I didn't do it for fun, money, or attention. Because, boy, I ain't getting none. This is the evidence. We're dealing with something much more serious, much more deadly and dark and evil than you can understand. And even I am taken aback by this. And I've been watching this evil motherfucker for 10 years. And reporting on it. Again, if it wasn't that serious, I wouldn't be here. This shit has cost me. Tom Homan, or the misery that is Tom Homan, did a little Fox. Yeah, they sent out all the big guns. All the abominations were spoken. All the evil done and preached. So again, the misery that is Tom Homan. We're going to flood the zone in sanctuary cities like Chicago, using football references, like Los Angeles, like San Francisco, and New York, or the zone in basketball or whatever. We're going to flood the zone, and Chicago is one of them. We're going to go there and make Chicago safe again. Again, a convicted felon is the ultimate authority behind all this. The governor of the state says we don't need your troops. They're going to send them anyway. Do you know what that's called, son? That's called the military takeover of your country. And that's all it is. They're going to flood the zone with your own troops that your tax money pays for. You get to pay for your own subjugation. Isn't that great, Marx? Epstein survivor Lisa Phillips. This is ballsy. When I saw this, I was like, oh shit, let me look at this picture because a lot of these women are about to disappear. Together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. Holy shit. That's a ballsy thing to say. And, you know, I hope they actually do it, but if they do it, there will be retribution. And that's what I'm afraid to see. That took balls to say. And it will take balls to do. Holy shit. Jesus. All right, we got a Gavin Newsom original here in Rube speak, all caps sociopathy. Let's do a quick read through, dramatic interpretation. Big mistake by Dozy Don. Space Command belongs in San Francisco, not Alabama. A total disaster of a state. Everyone knows San Francisco is the future home of Starfleet Academy. I didn't read this. I have to, you know, I gotta eat, people. I gotta work. So I grab the shit. I read what I can. If I feel it's relevant, I grab it. Anyway, let's continue. Everyone knows San Francisco is the future home of Starfleet Academy. That's in quotes, too. Live long and prosper. That's in quotes in parentheses. That's because California is #1 for aerospace, #1 for technology, #1 for AI, artificial intelligence, very smart people, much smarter than JD Just Dance Vance, who has low IQ. San Francisco is the best in the world for engineering and innovation, rocket software, the startups, that's in quotes. Alabama's Governor Crazy K has no idea what is going on, just like Little Hands. She is slow and burps a lot. She has done nothing for her people and made the state very unsafe. A murder rate 190% higher than California's. Holy fuck. Space Command must be here in California, the greatest state in America, with me, the young and beautiful Governor Gavin. Oh my God, Space Command must be here in California, the greatest state in America, with me, the young and beautiful Governor Gavin C. Newsom. The sleepy golfer in the White House didn't move it here. He has Newsom derangement syndrome, NDS, sad. GCN, holy shit. That was pretty good. He's capturing the essence of Donnie perfectly. This is Newsmax talking to Donnie on audio. You know there are critics who say, how can the family be involved with... Oh, this is Don Jr., the cokehead, excuse me. You know there are critics who say, how can the family be involved with crypto when your dad, the president, is working on legislation? How do you silence them? Maybe you shouldn't have tried to sue us into oblivion over nothing. Maybe you shouldn't have tried to jail us. In other words, vengeance is ours because you tried to hold us accountable for our crimes. Everyone knows they're grifters. Come on now. They got sued because they committed crimes and they did wrong. They got jailed or almost jailed because they committed crimes and did wrong. They got a slap on the wrist for fucking charity fraud. Do you remember that during the first term? All 3 kids had to go to a class on how not to steal from a charity. They grifters, everyone knows it. That's why they faced the scrutiny and the almost jailing that they did. The little bit of accountability they even had to face. He's just like his daddy. Now I'm going to persecute innocent people because the innocent people tried to persecute us, the guilty people. And he just flat out said it. Oh, well, you shouldn't have tried to hold us accountable for our original grifts. Then we wouldn't be grifting now like this. It's your fault. Wow, man. They getting real comfortable, and facades is just dropping all over the place. Remember what Eric said when they first won? He started running his mouth. He got all uppity. And he talked about what they had planned for areas and places that don't cooperate with them. It can get so much worse, etc. Yeah, they knew what they were going to do before day 1 in office. That's why the Mongoloid was boasting of it. We see this every once in a while where the facade comes down and they just straight up tell you what they're going to do. You're seeing it now, the military being deployed on your streets, about to be for the 3rd time. In a 3rd area. That's what young Eric was talking about. And much, much more. The plan don't stop there. It gets much uglier. What's going to happen to people. If you catch my drift, just picture the Third Reich. That's where it's going. Here's Donnie again, sitting in the Oval with the hideous gold spray-painted trim from Lowe's. Behind him, you've expressed frustrations with Putin, but there is no action. Trump jumps in. How do you know there's no action? Who are you with? You ought to get yourself a new job. So again, attack the reporter because he's Donnie Krasnov, Vlad's bitch, and everyone knows it. Because there's never any action, son, just like the reporter said. This is Don Winslow, a writer who doesn't pop up in my feed as much as he should. He used to pop up all the time. He's still doing things. He's still saying things. Mark my words and save this tweet. There will be National Guard and ICE operations in major cities on Election Day 2026. It's planned. Yeah, I've been saying, forget about elections since you gave him the keys back in November. And especially since January. Oh my God, I've been saying that. I'm glad Don's starting to get it. He's been fighting this movement for a long time. He's put his own money up. And I respect him. But man, this writing was on the wall in January, man. Deploying troops, annexation talk. I could tell by the sycophants he gathered and the coup he staged before, last time. Yeah, it was going there, troops on the streets, Reich, that whole thing. So yeah, the midterms, forget about it. I knew that was a foregone conclusion. It doesn't matter who wins, who doesn't win. They rig it, they don't rig it. Donnie's still a dictator. Don't matter. And forget about, 4 years from now or whatever, 3.5, whatever it is. Oh, he definitely ain't leaving then. And the troops are already on the ground to make sure, so. Here's Donnie talking about D.C. Washington, D.C. is totally safe city. You're not reporting any crime because there is none. They said crime is down 87%, and I said, no, it's not. It's down 100, because Donnie just says so. Caesar just proclaims it. No, it's not down to nothing. I guarantee there's still crime going on. And again, it's just a city under military occupation by their own troops. There's nothing good about it, son. It's disgusting, and I can't believe it's so normalized that he just boasts of it. And there's not impeachment proceedings 5 minutes later. So sad. That's why, again, the country's over. This is great. Mexico reports 53% increase in flesh-eating screwworm cases since July. 53% increase in screwworm flesh-eating cases. I don't want to hear that. Holy fuck, man. And there's a picture of him here. I ain't even going to show. Fucking disgusting. My God. As if the world ain't shitty enough, man. Jesus. I thought tariffs were going to bring back American manufacturing. Yeah, this is why they're saying that. U.S. manufacturing activity contracted in August for a 6th month. Gee, I wonder what happened about 6 months ago. What could have caused this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Donnie Shitbags effect. Never mind, I remember now. Manufacturing has contracted for the 6th month in a row. Donnie been yelling about tariffs and bringing the manufacturing back, and it's all going wonderful, and we're going to have Oh no, we're losing manufacturing. Oh, it's just all a grift. Never mind. This is the lawyer, and you know what it is, and you know who it is. Angola is a prison whose history begun as a slave plantation. I didn't know that. A portion of the prison has now been turned over to ICE. Isn't that great? Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is joining Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry at a news conference to announce the opening of a new immigration detention space. So a new concentration camp. Isn't that great, folks? I want to keep you apprised or appraised or whatever the word is of the new camps as they open. We don't even hear much about it anymore, do we? And again, some women who were victims decided to speak out today in front of the whole world, which took a lot of courage and strength and all that. That's how they spent their time today. Miss Noem spent her time at a press conference to advertise a new concentration camp. Donnie spent his time calling it a hoax in front of cameras and sending military aircraft to fuck with the people that were testifying before the whole world. Yeah, there's a difference between people, and in this era, this apocalypse, it's gotta be, man. Concentration camps in America? In this era, my God, is there a difference between people? Okay, this is a long quote that Donnie gave in his office kind of in the Oval Office kind of press conference today. This one. So let's read it. Donnie had a lot to say. Gee, I wonder why he was so talkative about this specific subject. A few minutes after sending a stealth bomber over the victim's press conference, Donald Trump was asked about Epstein. Here's the quote. So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave them everything over and over again, more and more, and no one's ever satisfied. No, they didn't. Maybe the Kennedy stuff he's talking about, they gave a lot, but not the Epstein stuff. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given from what he understands. He has to check, though. But it's really a Democrat hoax. But wait, so those thousands of pages are a hoax, too? Because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, again, he's saying this while there are victims of Epstein doing a press conference. He's calling it a distraction. For fuck's sake. No, the distraction was the military aircraft sent by the 3-year-old Antichrist. That was the distraction. This filibuster right here is the distraction. Because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C. is a totally safe zone. You mean for him to stay in office? It's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term. It's a term of art. It's a safe zone because it's very safe. Oh my God, is he scared right now? You can walk down the street now and nothing's going to happen. No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problem with certain places, and we still do, all run by Democrats for the most part. Run by Democrats. So what they're trying to do with the Epstein hoax is get people to talk about that instead of speaking about the tremendous success like ending 7 wars. Pulled out the 7 wars lie. He is scared. I ended 7 wars. He says it twice. Nobody's going to talk about because they're going to talk about the Epstein whatever. In other words, my Nobel Peace Prize should be the topic of discussion. Not these pesky sex trafficking victims. Jesus Christ. I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we're given thousands of pages of files, and I know that no matter what you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having. I think we're probably having, according to what I read, even from 2 people in this room, we're having the most successful 8 months of any presidency ever. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax. In other words, we should be talking about me and how great I'm doing and how great I am. Wow. Why did he just say all that? Because he's neck deep in the shit and he's scared shitless. And it gnaws his ass that people still asking about this. And he's got to talk about it. And this long-ass filibuster right here, again, it's just another thing indicating very strongly that Donnie's guilty. Wouldn't you say? I would. Finally, at the end, and it's a great spot to end. So you really know where you're at. And remember, I said all this bullshit was going to happen way back. Donnie in the Oval again. We're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. The Antichrist fresh off his deathbed again. After the abominations he wrought today. What was also part of the discussion at many different points was, when and where is our military takeover of America going to go next? And they pretend they want the governors to ask them and all that. They don't give a fuck. They plan to do this the whole time. Again, son, we all need to wake up and realize where we're at. And it's too late to stop it. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you hope and say there's a way to stop this. The only real way to stop it is a general strike. No one does anything. Everyone just sits in meditation for about a week. Grinds this fucking thing to a halt. It will never happen. The human race would never have such solidarity. Ever. So that's not going to happen. That's the only answer, and it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. The government could take action and impeach this thing and throw them all out. That's never going to happen. He staged a coup. They couldn't even lock him up for a week. Never will they remove him. So that's not going to happen. So again, I can't give you false hope. I'm sorry. So all I can really give you is the current state of dystopia. And the current state of dystopia is they are mulling over in public in front of us all, and there's no impeachment proceedings 5 minutes later. Everyone just pretends this is fucking normal. This isn't Adolf Hitler reborn here. You're about to have the military deployed for the third time in America for nothing. Just because it's a Reich and it's a military takeover of your country, which was planned in advance. That's the current state of your dystopia that you live in. The military by the dictator. Because it's not a democracy anymore, not even close. Way dead. It's a dictatorship now because they just sit back and let him do whatever he wants. Even when he's not president. And that dictator's deploying the military on your soil for the third time in a third American city. Specifically targeting liberals and minorities. Just like Adolf Hitler. Liberals were first to be locked up in the old Reich. And this will happen to more and more cities. So you are currently in the midst of the military takeover of your country, literally right now. Number 3, coming up. Deployment. DC surrounded, checkmate. No one can touch them. So dystopia isn't coming. The nightmare isn't coming. The apocalypse isn't coming. You're in the midst of it. With that, as always, I'll say when the mark comes along, you must say no matter what it costs you. I got to get going. I'm very tired and it's very late. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and as always, I'll try and remember to put the PayPal at the top of the comment section. I wish you all peace and blessings in this apocalypse, 'cause you gonna fucking need it. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Until the next episode.